Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, as always, Darren Campbell, and doing a great weekend wrap up, of course, is Jason Cameron. On a Halloween. Happy Halloween, buddy. How are you? How was your Halloween weekend, and how Halloween being today? How was it as well?
Well, today was good. Work wasn't very busy, so it
Nice.
was a very good day. It was a
Nice.
good day. And then for the weekend, Saturday was out with some friends out in North Van, and we went to a event at let's see, Toby's Pub in North
Okay.
Van.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a live band there, and then everybody was kind of dressed up. I think the guy that had the best costume was old school throwback Doc Brown from Back to the
Oh,
Future.
oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
he nailed it. He looked
Nice.
great. He
Oh,
looked
cool.
awesome.
And no, he didn't have a sidekick, Marty McFly, with him. It was just him by himself.
Yeah, it was just him by himself. I think maybe the dog was there, Einstein. But
Okay,
that's about it.
nice. What about you? What'd you wear?
Oh, I just went with I recycle my costume, so I actually had an orange prisoner's jumpsuit, so that's what I wore. I was a prisoner, just
Okay.
got out.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
that's actually what Grayson was today.
Oh,
He wore a prisoner's outfit. He said that was he was in lockup jail, and yeah, it looked good. It was a pretty good costume. I didn't see a ton of costumes out and about today. I was kind of surprised, but I guess most people probably celebrated it or on Saturday or over the weekend.
yeah, yeah. I would imagine so. I'm sure downtown must have been like busy
Yeah.
on Saturday and Friday night for sure. But yeah, like I said, there was about a group of 12 to 14 of us,
Oh
and it
wow,
was
that's a big group. That's
yeah.
a
So
big group.
it ended up being a good time. Like just
Good,
yeah, I had a really good time.
good band.
Good band was good. The band
Mm.
actually was very very good. Cover band. I can't remember their name at this moment, but they were very good.
What's the best costume you've ever had? What's the best costume you've ever worn?
Probably Miami Vice Tubbs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
that
Yeah.
that was pretty good. That was actually, you know what? There's a little bit more of a story to that. So me and my friend, my buddy Mark, we went together, and so we were Crockett and Tubbs Miami Vice, and then
Sweet.
we had extra clothing that we gave to our other friend Robbie. And so so as we're in the club that night, everybody's like, "Oh man, Miami Vice, yada yada yada." And then somebody goes, "Hey man, who's this guy?" And they point to my friend Rob and they go, "Oh, that's Nash Bridges. That's who that is."
Nice. I love it. That's brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah,
good
it was
thinking.
good. That was
Very
good.
cool. Very cool. Fun. Yeah, it's always fun to dress up. I didn't put any effort in this year, so I didn't hit any parties. I was considering one, but yeah, I felt tired from the week, and yeah, just didn't hadn't put any effort in, so I thought, forget it. People just be bugging me if I'm out just wearing regular clothes. It wasn't gonna be it wasn't gonna be good going out without a costume.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. So, did you just chill out, watch some movies, watch some TV, watch some sports? That's it.
Yeah, yeah, tons of sports this weekend. It was
Yes.
amazing as always. This time of year is really good. Oh, I just witnessed a touchdown. Too little, too late for the Bengals here, but T. Higgins just got a nice grab. This is a bit of surprising this Monday night, or the 2-5 Cleveland Browns have a 32-12 lead over the 4-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Pretty bizarre. Cleveland seems to always have their number. Wow, see that catch? Nice one.
Yeah. No, they
Five
they
points.
do
You
have their
got
number.
mossed right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I'm kind of surprised. I don't know why Cleveland seems to always have Cincinnati's number. Cincinnati defending champs of the conference, and Cleveland struggling at 2-5. But in big night from Chubb, and their defense has held Burrow down. And holy crap, this is a big win for Cleveland.
yeah, you know what? It's par for the course so far for this season. When you think one team is going to win the game, the other team comes out on top. or
Yeah.
comes out really, really on top, because Cleveland is smashing the Bengals right now.
Yeah. You're a big fan of Chubb. You said it
Yes.
even last week. This is his night, 20 carries, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Just par for the course for the guy.
Yeah.
They seem to be super stacked. Trade deadlines tomorrow, and I've heard a lot of rumors that they might be shopping Kareem Hunt around because Chubb's doing such a great job, and they might be able to get a few more pieces if Hunt goes. And Hunt, I think he'd be highly sought after.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think a lot of teams could use a running back of that stature, for sure. Like, yeah, there's a ton of teams that could use a guy like that.
Yeah. Amari Cooper had a really nice touchdown catch. He's got 5 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown. I missed his pass though. He threw a pass tonight and it was picked off. I don't know. I can't wait to see the low light of that, but that's the only thing he seems to be done wrong tonight.
Oh well, I guess you can't have it perfect all the time, can you?
No. Um, yeah, the running game for Cincinnati has been next to nothing, and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd both have touchdown catches, but man, the stats I was looking at them earlier, they were really lopsided. Right now, the total yards 414 to 223. The rushing yards 147 to 36. And yeah, just dominating in most areas. Yeah, huge win for Cleveland. Really tightening up that division and making it more and more interesting.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, that division is very interesting. Very.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So yeah, why don't we blast into the story of the NFL Week 8. We're kind of, I was thinking that's halfway, but actually probably end of next week is halfway.
Yeah.
Because they do have 17 games with a bye. So I guess next week is technically halfway, but a lot of things are definitely emerging and making it well known. It's really weird. The NFC and the AFC, both the top divisions are the Eastern divisions, and the worst divisions are the Southern divisions. It's very weird how that's really played out so far this year.
Yeah, it is odd how there's actually synergy between the two divisions on how the East is rising and the South dropped off the map, pretty much.
Yeah, it's been yeah, crazy. I do want to mention off the top. I did say trade deadline is tomorrow. There was a big trade that was culminated today. The Baltimore Ravens acquired the NFL's leading tackler, Roquan Smith, from the Chicago Bears. They gave up a second and a fifth round pick in 2023, and their linebacker AJ Klein. Roquan Smith is a phenomenal linebacker, 83 tackles so far this season. It's very weird. I don't understand this part of it. The Bears are actually taking care of the bulk of his salary that's left. 4.833 million they're paying him, and the Ravens are only on the hook for the league minimum of 575K. So that is really weird. I don't even know if other leagues would accept a trade like this, but to get the leading tackler in the league for the Ravens, they're paying him the league minimum for the rest of the year, and they had to give up a couple of picks and a backup linebacker. Not bad. I think a lot of teams are going to look at that and think, "What the hell? We should have been really trying to get this guy."
That's one heck of a bargain. All right. And also too, it almost leads me to believe like it's their buddies in the front office with the Bears and the Ravens, because like how does that deal even get made where they say, hey, take our number one tackler and don't you worry about the cost because we're gonna pay for him too. Yeah. All right,
we're gonna pay him to not be here. That's crazy, man. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I would have accepted that guy's call every day of the week. Holy cow! Hey, Who else you got? Yeah, can you spare anybody else?
Yeah, yeah, like absolutely. Can you spare a couple people that you want to
Yeah.
pay for too? Send them over our way, no problem.
The Bears have obviously given up on their season. They have really looking like they're cleaning house. They sent Robert Quinn to Philly last week, and they have they have a lot of draft picks. I guess that's good. 2023, they got 9 draft picks coming, but yeah, it's strange how they've shipped out. They're 3-5, and just getting rid of 2 of their best players in the past week.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess the tank is in full mode right now for the Bears because they're like, okay, well, let's get rid of all our assets and just get some picks. We're gonna be starting from scratch,
Yeah.
literally.
Yes, bizarre, really strange. I don't get it, but yeah, I'm not in the front office, so yeah, we'll see how it works out for them. I don't think it's going to work out very well when you get rid of your 2 best guys on defense. Going to be ugly, and it probably ugly for a few years to come. Okay, I do want to kind of get right into my hero of the week. I'm going to give you some candidates and see who you pick. There was actually 4 guys that got 3 touchdowns each. Not
Yeah,
quarterbacks, but some of the other players. Tony
yeah,
Pollard, Alvin Kamara,
yeah.
AJ Brown, and Christian McCaffrey. My pick this week for hero of the week is Christian McCaffrey because he got
Ah,
the he got the triple crown. He
yeah.
got a passing touchdown, receiving touchdown, and a rushing touchdown with his new team in San Francisco. What a hell of a pickup this guy's been. I'm amazed that Carolina would give up on this guy. The guy is just phenomenal. This is another bizarre move by a team that's really, really crappy. But, you give up one of the most dynamic players in the league. 49ers are like, yes, thank you very much. And boom, implemented him. And wow, what a game he had.
Well, just look at what he did. He did the triple crown. The guy's a crown jewel for any offense. All right. But
Yeah.
but on top of that, they already have Kittle, they have Ayuk, and they got Deebo Samuel, along with this guy that can literally, I can pass for a touchdown, I can run for a touchdown, I'll just catch the touchdown. Oh, right. Deebo Samuel can do all the same things I can do.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 2 guys like that on the team.
Amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Incredible. Yeah. The Niners are suddenly one of those teams that you think could actually win this NFC. And there was all that controversy with Jimmy G in the offseason, and we're going to go with Trey Lance and get rid of Jimmy. And Trey goes down first game. Jimmy's been in there. They add some weapons around him, and holy crap, this team could go all the way.
Yeah, they could. And luckily, they have Jimmy G as their backup because he has a certain temperament, which is unflappable.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me that
Awesome.
whatever you guys want to say, whatever you guys want to do, it's fine. You know what? I'm just gonna go out there and play football. And that's what he has done. And then look at him now. Look at him now.
Okay. What about Tony Pollard? Ezekiel Elliott, he's their guy. He's their big money ticket. He's been there for years. I've been saying Tony Pollard's the better player. They've been sort of splitting the duties between both of them, but Zeke's out this week. And what does Pollard do? Score 3 touchdowns, have an absolutely phenomenal game. Massive win for the Cowboys. And I think Pollard should be 1A now and Zeke 1B, or even, carrying a lot less of the load.
I would agree with you 100%. I think lately, at least for the last 2 years, I want to say he's been seeing diminishing returns from Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Like you really have.
Yeah.
And Pollard has been getting better and better with every year. I think it is time for them to seriously consider having him as the number 1.
Yeah. Alvin Kamara hadn't scored a touchdown this year yet. which shocked me actually when I noticed that. Uh, 3 touchdowns yesterday, one on the ground, two through the air, 62 yards on the ground, 96 through the air. And the Saints just blasted the Raiders. It wasn't even close. Raiders looked like the worst team in football yesterday. But Alvin Kamara's back. What a game for him.
Yeah, what a fantastic game for him. He looked great. He looked like the Alvin Kamara of old.
Yeah.
That's really what he looked like. And it was great that he did it against the Raiders defense that didn't look like they were even there to defend anybody that game.
I haven't seen the Raiders look this bad in a while, and it was pretty pathetic. Get shut out and not even show up. I saw even a couple players just giving up on plays. It was bad there. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. Like as professional athletes, you should never be giving up on players. You should have some pride.
Yeah. AJ Brown. I have no idea why this guy wasn't kept in Tennessee, but Philly said, thank you very much. We'll take one of the most dynamic receivers in the game. 3 touchdowns in the first half. He had 156 yards on 6 catches. Absolutely amazing catches, too. Like, he was fully covered by a couple guys on 2 of those catches, and he came down with the ball. This guy is one of the top receivers in the game, and I think he gets overlooked sometimes, but he's with the undefeated Eagles and contributing huge to a big win for them.
Oh, massive win. AJ Brown was like electric again, and Hurts and him have a certain chemistry now that they've developed, and they're just bang on all the time now. It's a delight to see.
Yeah. Yeah, Hurts is looking great. 4 touchdown passes, 285 yards, and a big win. Definitely looking super good. And both Hurts is getting into the MVP conversation with the Eagles still being the only undefeated team so far. Derrick Henry. Deontay Foreman also had 3 touchdowns. The Panthers lost in overtime. A massive bonehead move by DJ Moore after he caught the Hail Mary pass to tie it up. Celebrated by taking his helmet off, throwing it down on the ground and dancing around. 15-yard penalty, taunting. Put the field goal kicker or the point after attempt kicker back to the 48-yard line. Missed it. Forced overtime. He probably was a bit shaken up after missing that one. He missed a field goal in overtime. Atlanta pulled out the victory, and your Falcons are first place in the Southern Division, and we had them last, if not like at the very back of the line, and almost halfway through the year, they're first place. This has to be a total shock.
It is because I don't know how they did it. I still don't know. I don't actually understand, but they're there now. They've managed to somehow get there, and it was a huge win against the Panthers. That was a big win because realistically, they should have lost that game. Yeah. They should have lost that game.
Yeah, crazy enough, if the Panthers win that game, all 4 teams have the same record, and it's a total toss-up. But now Panthers go to the bottom of the division, Falcons go to the top, and it's been a bizarre, incredible season in that Southern Division, and who knows who's going to emerge. Tampa Bay sitting there. Wow, it's bizarre. Derrick Henry, another phenomenal game for him. Tannehill was hurt, so Malik Willis had an opportunity to have his first start. Didn't have a lot of practice time, I guess. Didn't have a lot of time to get that first string snaps, and they put it into Derrick Henry's hands 32 times, 219 yards and a couple TDs. And he absolutely eats up the Texans year after year after year. He's got 4 200-yard games with 2 touchdowns at least against them. And the guy is just amazing when They just keep giving him the ball. Everybody knows he's getting the ball, but he's still getting 200 yards. The guy's a phenomenal athlete.
He's such a great athlete, and also too, it's so nice to have him as your failsafe, where it's like, okay, well, Willis, your name is Willis, right? Okay, get in there, but all we want you to do is just to hand the ball off to the guy behind you. All right, that's it. Yeah, I think you can do that, and then you're gonna be good. We're gonna win.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they probably told him. He's yeah, you just go in there, see that guy. We call him King. He gets the ball. Don't even look at throwing it. Just give it to the King, and we're gonna win. And sure enough, they did. The Titans had the best record in the AFC regular season last year. They've won 5 in a row now, and they're doing it on Derrick Henry's back. He is setting records. He's constantly tying and breaking records. As I said, he has played the Texans 4 times in the past year and a half. He had 211 yards. 2019, he had 211 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2020, week 6, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 17, 2020, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. And yesterday, another 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has, they just eats him up. 6 200-yard, 2 touchdown games. That's 2 more than Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, and LaDainian Tomlinson, who used to have the lead in that category. He set the team record for touchdowns, most touchdowns in the Titans Oilers history, past Eddie George. He now has 75 touchdowns in 93 games. Eddie set the mark in 128 games before, so he's just blasted that record. He also tied the record with his 6th 200-yard rushing day. OJ and Adrian Peterson are the only 2 others in history to have 6 such games. And it's just amazing. I love it. I hope he can just keep churning it out for years and years and years. What a pleasure he is to watch.
Oh, yeah, he's an absolute pleasure to watch. And I just love the fact that the Texans always know, oh, they're just going to give it to Henry. All we got to do is stop. Oh, wait, we can't stop them. We can't. We fail every time. I totally forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, I mentioned Jalen Hurts as the top quarterback performances, but I also want to mention Tua Tagovailoa, 382 yards through the air with 3 touchdowns, and in a big 31-27 comeback win over Detroit. He's back healthy and looking good, and Dolphins are now 5-3 and looking solid. And yeah, those are my heroes of the week. I guess you and I both think that McCaffrey had kind of the best day.
Yes, I got to agree with you. McCaffrey, and if I had to pick a second, was AJ Brown. But I do want to throw in one dark horse.
Okay.
He didn't score any touchdowns, but man, he had a huge game. And that was Tyreek Hill for the Miami Dolphins. 12 receptions, 188 yards.
Jesus, yeah, amazing, yeah. What a game! Dolphins, another massive acquisition, and pretty incredible. Good mention for sure. 12 catches, almost 200 yards there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the AFC. Just kind of blast through. Buffalo has the lead in the conference and in the East Division. They played that Sunday nighter last night against the Packers, and it wasn't a flawless performance by the Bills, but they are definitely in a better state than the Packers are, and now sit 6-1 and just keep churning it up. Josh Allen, that 20-yard run on 3rd and 14 that got him down to the 1-yard line, just demonstrated how amazing he is, and one of the most elite players in the league right now.
Yeah, he's so dynamic. He's just so dynamic. And I don't know if it's the same run, but the run where he tried to punch it in, but he didn't get there.
Yeah,
but
that's
he
been
ended
one
up
of them.
running over like 2 defensive backs. It's just like that. I'm always amazed by that because he is that big and
Yeah.
he's that strong. Like when he's coming at you, you better be prepared because he's going to run you over. He's not
Yeah.
sliding.
I just would have loved to be a scout of him, just would have loved to watch him come up and just like look around going, holy crap, am I seeing this? Like, hopefully nobody else is, but oh my God. And like going back to Buffalo and saying, we gotta get this guy. Like, come on, do not even look at another person. This guy will take us far.
Yes, yeah, definitely. He'll take us far. Hopefully, he'll take us to the promised land like a certain Jim Kelly did. But unlike Jim Kelly, win, win the big
Win
game.
this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure was an amazing it's been an amazing performance for him the last couple seasons, and I'm impressed, and it's going to be hard to beat the Bills, especially as the weather gets worse. We go into, December, January, February. If they can get that far, it's going to be tough to win against this team. I mentioned the Dolphins at 5-3 in that division. The Jets had a tough loss. Also in that division, they played the Patriots. The Jets had won 4 in a row, but they came up against the Patriots, and now they've lost 13 in a row to the Hoodie and that Patriots franchise. Belichick set or passed George Halas for second place on the all-time coaches winning list, and he probably doesn't even come close to second place without playing the Jets, because he probably has about 20, 30, I don't know how many wins, but he gets 2 a year. He's probably been in the league, probably got 40 wins against the Jets to make that record.
Yeah, well, he's. I think it's up on his big board, and he goes, "We'll just chalk up that win. That's easy. That's a gimme. That's a given, right?"
Yeah.
And then also too, hey, the running back for the Patriots had a huge game. Stevenson, 16 carries, 71 yards, 7 receptions, 72 yards.
Yeah.
He had a big game.
144 yards, and he Rhamondre Stevenson, I love that guy, and he's really stepped up huge. Another guy that had a massive game was Devin McCourty. He's one of those holdovers from their Super Bowl years. He picked off Zach Wilson twice, and those were obviously huge big factor in getting this 22-17 win. Zach Wilson looked his age, made some big mistakes, and when a young guy comes up against Belichick and the Belichick's defense, usually they fail.
Yeah, because Belichick, he's a genius, obviously, at scheming with young quarterbacks, where he hides stuff, where it's just like, and then they look and they go, "Wait, what just happened?"
Yeah.
And like literally, it's like, what just happened? Did he just Houdini me again? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're on the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I blasted through the Dolphins when I was mentioning the heroes of the week. Jalen Waddle also had a phenomenal game there. 8 for 106 with 2 touchdowns. Gesicki had a TD catch, and the Lions, man, they're involved in these shootout games. They had a big lead on the Dolphins, but their defense is so bad. They're now 1-6. The owner of the Lions said that Dan Campbell's safe. They know they're in rebuild mode. Be patient. They're going to turn this around. The offense is good. Defense needs fixing, and be patient. They say. I was pretty surprised that that Ford family came out and said, "Hey, hang on. Don't call for his head yet. We like him. We want him. We're going to keep him. Be patient, and next year will be good."
Oh, I completely agree with the Ford family. They should keep that guy because even with their trials and tribulations, the Lions, those players are playing really hard for that guy.
Yeah.
All right. And so if the players are reacting that way, they're trying to give their all to play for this man. and you keep that guy.
Yeah.
You keep him.
Yeah, I agree. He's been great, and this thing looks like it's turning around. They've had some heartbreaking losses. They got to get definitely some help on D, but yeah, I like them. They're fun to watch. Yeah, I think next year we'll see a big turnaround. Okay, AFC West. The division leading Chiefs, they sit at 5-2. They had a bye week. Second place Chargers 4-3. They also had a bye. So let's talk about the Broncos. Broncos went out to London, had a long trip to London. Everybody was on Russell Wilson. Man, we're hearing stories just coming out of the woodwork. Everybody wants to pile on and say how lousy of a teammate he was, how fake he is, how this and that, and everybody's just trying to get a piece of Russell Wilson. This was his best game of the year. Finally get a victory after a real big struggle. And yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about finally seeing him do okay and them getting a win over the Jags?
It's the Jags.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He got the win. That's the most important thing. But it's the Jags.
Yeah.
And also, too, if I'm really going to look at the score, he only managed to orchestrate 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're the lowest scoring team in the NFL, and they have really had their troubles. But he looked good at times, had some 3-and-outs and some struggles, but it's the best he's looked. So hopefully that's the start of something good for Broncos fans and for him. Trevor Lawrence, they have to be just pulling their hair out because this guy has all the talent in the world, but he makes some huge mistakes. The interceptions that he threw really were contributing to this loss, and this team has had so many heartbreaking losses. I think all 6 of their losses have been by 1 score. Every game they've been involved in has been by 1 score. You think they look better for sure with Doug Peterson there, but Lawrence has got to get mature and not make these mistakes. It's really killing him.
Yeah, it is. But also, too, these are the growing pains of going through it with a young quarterback.
Yeah.
This is part of the deal. This is what you got to go through.
Yeah.
But at least the good thing is in their backfield, it looks like they're in good hands with Etienne Jr. 24 carries, 156 yards, 1 touch. I think they found themselves a stud in the back.
He looked great, didn't he? Yeah, he's phenomenal, and he was injured all last season, missed the entire year. So good to see him back, and good to see him contributing that much. Yeah, over 150 yards is a hell of a day on an NFL field. So good on him. Okay, as I mentioned, Raiders, they are in the bottom of the West, 2-5. Could they be the worst team in the NFL right now? We just talked about Detroit, but to get shut out 24-0, not even show up, like, wow, what the hell is this? What's going on in Vegas?
Yeah, it's concerning because you got that guy Davante Adams, who I don't really even have him on the stats. Like it's like, oh, what happened? That guy's there, right? You throw him the football.
Yeah.
It's odd, man. It's odd. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
And especially with the fact that they couldn't even generate a field goal. Like what?
Yeah.
Or the fact that I think throughout the course of the game, I think it only happened the 3rd or 4th quarter where they didn't even pass half. They get past half.
Jesus. Yeah.
And you're just like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, it was bizarre. I couldn't believe how lousy they looked, and it wasn't like they were up against a massive juggernaut or anything. The Saints are just average. Kamara had a great game, but yeah, to get shut out, barely show up. Adams 3 yards on 1 catch. One of the biggest weapons in the game. I don't know. He must have been double or triple teamed, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole game, but maybe that was the game plan by the Saints. Just everybody on Devontae and let anybody else catch the ball. We're good.
Yeah, apparently. And yeah, just have them run free because I don't believe Carr can hit anybody today. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, this has to be one of Carr's worst performances in his career. I see they benched him for a little bit too. He only had 101 yards and an interception. Jarrett Stidham came in, not exactly one of those amazing backup quarterbacks to come in and rally the troops, but I don't know. I think some changes have to be made. We'll see if they make some deals at the deadline. Either they're buyers or they're sellers. You think maybe they have to be sellers, but geez, it's bad in Vegas. Shiny new stadium, but horrible team right now.
Very shiny new stadium, by the way. Like it's beautiful. But yes, the team is playing very badly right now.
Terrible, yeah, unbelievable. Okay, let's turn to the AFC North. The Ravens sit on top 5-3. They got a big win on Thursday night over the Bucs, 27-22. Lamar looked great. Tom Brady looks old. And Ravens, I think they're the quality of this division, obviously, and just keep chugging along.
Yeah, they keep chugging along. Lamar Jackson looked fantastic, 27-38, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries for another 43 yards. And Brady only, unfortunately, just 1 touchdown. I gotta say it. As much as nothing phases that man, I think what he's going through in his personal life is affecting him on the field now.
Yeah,
I believe it is. I think it is.
I'm pretty shocked, and most people that I've talked to are pretty shocked that Giselle just had this ultimatum: you go out of retirement, and we're done. And he said, "Okay, see you later. I'm retiring." And she actually, they've filed the papers for the divorce, and supposedly that's it. They are done. I'm shocked that she wouldn't just give him another year to work it out, get it out of his system, and move on. But no, I guess that's hard line. That's it. And he chose football over her. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy because you could kind of argue, depending on your taste, she's one of the most beautiful women on the planet. Not good enough for Tom, though.
Pretty weird, yeah, pretty strange. That's been bizarre going through this. You don't really find too much about guys' personal lives and the women that they're dating or being in marriages with. But this one has been splashed all over the media, and we've known for a really long time that he's married to supermodel, and it seemed like they had a great life, and just boom, this is really weird that it came down to this, and the split is on, and moving on to they're going their separate ways.
Well, you know what? It's what we perceive, right? We don't know what's happening behind closed doors in their household. Maybe they've had problems for years, and it finally culminated into this. Because if you look at both of them, they're both at the peak of what they do in their industries. You could actually argue that they're both alphas. So with that being said, they're kind of both used to getting what they want.
Right.
Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, now she has to play second fiddle to this guy over and over and over again. Maybe finally she's just like, enough's enough. You promised me this. You said you would do this. We talked about it. And they probably could have even talked about it for like 2 years leading up to the supposed retirement.
Yeah.
Right? And then he goes, forget it. I'm going back.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. I already told you how it was going to be if you went back on your word. We're done.
Yeah. Yeah. 42 days of retirement wasn't good enough for her, I guess. And I know he missed some of training camp because supposedly he took her to some, beautiful beach and, tried to sort it out, but I guess she just wasn't having it. I've heard of comments that, football is a violent sport. I've been worried about him for a while. Didn't want, him to get hurt and that, but, she cares enough that she's worried about him getting hurt. You'd think she cared enough to make this work, with one extra season. He played 20 years, one more year. I just can't figure out. One more year doesn't seem like too much.
Is it one more year or is it another year after this? because he actually hasn't. Has he actually come out and said that this is his last year?
No, he has not.
Yeah, there you go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just it's like, okay, so there's one more year, and then Tom goes, well, one more year. Then all of a sudden, it's like the Brett Favre thing. I'll retire again. No, I'm coming back. One more
Right.
year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've seen it. You're right. Brett Favre did it a bunch of times, and yeah, it pissed everybody off. But yeah, this is crazy. And but yeah, it seems to be affecting him. Something's affecting him because this Bucks team and him do not look like that team that won the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
No, they don't look anything close to it. And on top of that, he has all his weapons back. Like all his receivers are back on the field. They're there. They're playing. The only person he's missing is Gronk.
Yeah.
Is Gronk the missing ingredient? Does he have to make a call and say, buddy, I need you to come back?
Gronk, yeah. So it wasn't Brady, it wasn't Belichick. It was actually Gronk that was the reason why they won all the Super Bowls. And Gronk better make some commercials saying that, and he could make some big money. I was actually the GOAT. Don't call those guys the GOAT. This proves it. I was the GOAT.
Yeah, because he can't win without me.
That would be amazing. I wouldn't put past him. He's a hilarious guy, and that would be great. We got to get a hold of Gronk and put a commercial together for Complete Sports Media. They can't win without me. I told you.
No, I told you. Like I warned him too. I said, well, if I'm retiring, you should probably retire. Just say.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Phenomenal. Okay, we just witnessed the Monday nighter, and it finished 32-13 Browns. Crazy. Bengals still sit second in the division, 4-4. Browns are now 3-5, and Steelers sit at the bottom, 2-6 off that loss to the Eagles. So that it's starting to shape up. Do you think the Bengals and the Ravens are really going to be in a dogfight this entire year for this division crown?
Yes. Yeah, I think so, because I think Burrow will definitely figure it out. He'll win some tough games. They'll win games. They'll win games. And Lamar Jackson, if he keeps playing at this higher level, I still consider him as a possible MVP candidate of the league if he keeps playing at this level, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, again, Lamar, being the genius that he is, goes, nah, you know what? I'm not going to sign a contract. I won't do that.
Yeah.
I'll wait to the end, and then you're just going to have to pay me so much more.
Yeah. He bet on himself, and it's a smart bet. Holy cow. Yeah, they're going to have to open up the Brinks trucks and drive it over to his place, and holy cow, big money's coming. Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, that is a big truck. That is a big truck.
Yeah, it's gonna be full of money for him. That's awesome. Yeah, love to see guys bet on themselves and do well. It would have been horrible to see him get injured or something crazy and not be able to cash in, because man, he had talent. So okay, let's just briefly talk about the South. Titans clearing away the front runner of that division. We talked a lot about them and that Derrick Henry hero talk, and Colts had a real big heartbreaker loss against the Commanders. They had the victory in their grasp. Commanders got 2 touchdowns in the last, I think it was the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds, I think it was, to pull out that win. Colts have surprised a lot of people, and they seem to have that win, but Sam Ehlinger, his first ever start, the former Texas Longhorn, 6th-round pick, wasn't able to pull out the victory. I guess not a surprise when this guy's coming in halfway through the year, getting his first start ever. Maybe it was a bit of a shock that he was even leading in this game for so long.
Yeah, a little bit. But you know what? At the end of the day, you got trusted Taylor Heineke. That's your guy. That's always been your guy.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
The guy that really I think turned this game around was Terry McLaurin though. Scary Terry. Did you see him wrestle the ball away from Stephon Gilmore?
yes.
That was a beautiful, beautiful grab. And Gilmore had his hands on the ball. McLaurin grabbed it, had it, pulled it down about the 1 yard line. Um, as he said, Heineke, he punched the ball in one play later, and that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, that was the difference in the game. And you know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna throw it out there. Maybe they should look at Heineke to start for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like this guy is actually winning football games,
yeah,
whereas Carson Wentz is, you know, I don't know, maybe.
yeah. No,
So
I agree. No,
I was
I
amazed
like
at looking.
Heineke. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think yeah, I
Me
think
too.
he could do really good things for them.
Yeah, I do too. Like you just look at his stats: 23, 31, 279, one touchdown, one interception, and then he got the last touchdown by running it in. You know what I mean? So the guy definitely knows he has an idea of how to win and what
Yeah,
it takes to win. You know?
yeah, yeah, totally. Okay, that's the AFC picture. NFC picture, quick. Let's blast through it. Class of the conference so far, 7-0. The Eagles. We mentioned them a bit. Do you want to mention anything more about their 35-13 win and going 7-0?
Um, not really. Not what more can you say? Like Sanders is amazing. He had 9 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. Hurts was amazing. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost
Wow,
threw for 300 yards. They're rolling.
they were
They're literally the class of the NFL right now. They're rolling.
yeah, they made some huge acquisitions and over the offseason and Jason Kelsey was on the Manning cast tonight, along with his brother Travis Kelsey, who plays for the Chiefs, obviously. Fun to watch the Manning cast. They had a bunch of Cleveland guys on tonight. One of the guys was Brad Paisley, a country singer. He's a Cleveland guy, and I didn't see all the list of guys they had on, but fun to watch. And Kelsey's actually, funny enough, Jason Kelsey is on the better team than Travis Kelsey, and Travis has been on the Chiefs forever. And but yeah, the little brother is on the better team this year.
Yeah, which is amazing. Which is it's just it's super funny.
Yeah,
But that the other thing is though, I love that the Mannings had other brothers that are in the league themselves
yeah,
on their show. Like I'm hoping that at some point in time they have the Diggs on, the Diggs
yeah,
brothers.
yeah. Trayvon and Stephon, yeah, yeah, that would be really sweet. Very good. Yeah, yeah. We should mention it to them, and hopefully they bring them on because those two guys are both phenomenal, both either side of the ball.
Yeah, no, and also too, let's be honest here. We already just mentioned it. We know they watch. So it'll be fine. They'll get it.
Yeah, that's true. They got it. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Steelers are looking rough. Chase Claypool, he had the only touchdown pass of the day. Our Abbotsford boy. He threw it to Derrick Watt, the fullback there. Speaking of brothers in the league, two brothers in the league there, and the least known Derrick Watt gets the lone touchdown for the Steelers.
Wait. What? Is that TJ and JJ's brother?
Yeah, yeah,
So what? I didn't even know that. There's 3 Watts in
yeah.
there. You gotta love that. What kind of family is that? What do they feed them kids?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, phenomenal. Those three guys. They've definitely shown them a lot because they had their own TV show. It was kind of like a game of tag, and all three brothers were on the show, and always throwing on a lot of quips and quick-witted answers and stuff, and it was pretty fun. But yeah, that family obviously feeding their boys well, and three guys in the NFL.
Yeah, like I couldn't imagine their poor mother's like grocery bill from week to week. It's thousands of dollars to feed these guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it must have been brutal. Yeah, yeah. Eating her out of house and home, taking out a second mortgage just to feed the boys. Yeah. Hopefully they paid her back once they all made the league.
I think she got it back in space. I think so. I think she actually now has a personal chef. She doesn't cook anymore.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we mentioned Philly, top of the East, but right behind them, Giants and Cowboys. Cowboys had a massive win, 49-29 over the Bears. And man, they look strong. We mentioned Pollard off the top. Got to mention him again. 14 for 131, 3 touchdowns, and even had a catch for 16 yards. Yeah, just really stepped in to Zeke's shoes and had the best game of the season for the Cowboys by far.
Yeah, and another thing that I'm so proud to say this, that Jerry Jones didn't tell the coach go with Cooper Rush. I'm really glad he didn't go in that direction.
Yeah.
So I know at one point in time he thought there'd be a quarterback controversy. It's hilarious. But now that Prescott's back in there, 21-27, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then he ran in another one for another touchdown. So yeah, you got the right guy in there, Jerry. No need to overthink it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be so meddlesome because yeah, they got the right guy in there. It was weird that he was even considering there was some controversy there.
Yeah, exactly. Because like that would have been ridiculous if we talk about Cooper Rush right now. It's like, oh, you got Prescott on the bench. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine all the money with Zeke on the bench and Dak on the bench, all that money sitting there. Oh man, that would have been probably the most expensive bench you'd ever had.
Oh yeah, ever seen.
In the history of the league. Yeah, maybe in professional sports. Yeah, insane. Very insane. Yeah. Okay. Giants. 6-1 going into this game against the Seahawks. This was actually the only game of the week also that had two teams above 500. I mentioned it last week. It was the Titans and the Colts. This was the Giants and the Seahawks, the only two teams facing each other with better than 500 records. And Seahawks were favored by 3 because they were home, but a lot of people thought the Giants were going to give them a big run for their money. But this Seahawks team has emerged as the front runner, the division leader. Geno Smith, most accurate quarterback in the game, and another huge win, 27-13 over the G-Men.
And it seems to me, as we go along this season, that the Seahawks defense seems to be getting better.
Yeah,
from week to week. Like they seem to be getting better from week to week. Or I'm like, oh, okay, this is encouraging if you're a Seahawks fan to see that the defense is stepping up, and then Geno Smith is just still doing his thing. You know, like, and who would have ever thought that Geno Smith would be the answer?
Yeah,
he would be the savior.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know what? I'm not sure what the Seahawks management saw in him. But it's pretty nice to have a 10-year guy backing up and coming in. He's been in the league 10 seasons before this one. You're not going to have too many backups that aren't washed up that are going to be able to step into those shoes and fill them great. And the passes that he didn't complete yesterday were typically right in the hands of the receiver. They were either dropped or the defender just knocked it out of their hands. He's not throwing the ball anywhere where they can't catch the ball. I'm super impressed. And it would be amazing if he started getting some MVP conversation if this team definitely keeps winning. And, he probably will be comeback player of the year anyway.
Oh, yeah. I think that's almost a given right now. If he continues to play at this higher level, and his accuracy is absolutely insane because Lockett could have had 2 touchdowns in this game, but he dropped one.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a gimme.
Yeah, that was right there. Yeah, that was tough. I saw even DK have a couple that he should have had, but didn't. He's super sure-handed. Both those guys are sure-handed, and it's those two weapons are huge. Really good to see Kenneth Walker emerge and be that running back they need. And this team is fun to watch. And they're rolling. Nobody in the world had the Seahawks first in this division going into the season.
No, nobody had them first in the division like that, and nobody would have thought that Geno Smith up until this point would be having a way better season than Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
nobody thought that either.
No, that's true. Exactly. Okay, in the middle of the division, the Niners and the Rams faced off against each other. Both looking pretty decent, having their struggles. But we talked about the Niners off the top. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey being the biggest catalyst to the win. What's wrong with the Rams, though? 3-4, defending Super Bowl champions. I don't think we thought they would struggle this much so far.
No, we didn't think that. I don't think Stafford has been incredibly on right now as of yet. But if there's one person that has been always on, just like a beautiful Ford truck that he is Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
it just the guy is just I'll just keep on trucking and doing my thing. The only problem is he had a touchdown and 80 yards pretty much, but the only thing is he can't do it alone.
No,
that's the only problem. It's like you can depend on him, but he cannot do it alone. And where's Allen Robinson? Like they got this guy, and he has not really shown them what they paid for him to do.
No, so. That he's been bust really so far this year, and very disappointing not being able to be that dynamic guy like they thought they would complement Kupp at all. Kupp actually got injured late in this game. Sean McVay came into the press conference and apologized and said, I probably shouldn't have had him in there in a game that was out of reach. And luckily, it looks like Kupp's injury isn't going to threaten many lost games. He might miss one, but it looked like he had a pretty bad ankle injury, and something was wrong with his hand as well. So hopefully he can heal up and he won't have to miss much action, if any at all.
Yeah, because they kind of need that guy, because he's the one person on offense that is absolutely dependable for them. So.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. Okay, sitting at the bottom of the West are the Cards. They lost to the Vikes, who sit at the top of the North, 6-1. I think the Cards came out of the gate last year. I think they won the first 8 or 9. Then they struggled. They seem like they can't really pull it together quite yet. Great to see D-Hop back and playing phenomenal, have a really great game as well, but they just they just don't seem to be good enough right now to win some of these tight games.
I think one of the problems with the Cards, they just seem to fall behind their teams that they're playing way too quick. Like they're not playing with the lead, right? But I do want to say Murray must be super happy that Hopkins is back, because that one touchdown catch he had, he was covered. Yeah. The guy, he didn't do it. The DB didn't do anything wrong. In fact, he was in perfect position. It's just that D-Hop just went around him and grabbed the ball with one hand, and it was a touchdown. And by the way, great throw by Murray. It's like to even have the confidence to throw it like that. Wow.
Yeah, those two are on the same page quite often. They obviously, need a little more, I guess, defensively. They're lacking, but Rondale Moore had a touchdown. Zach Ertz had a touchdown, and this team, dynamic. Kyler Murray, when he gets out in space and he's got Hopkins, he just got to throw it in his area, and the guy pulled down 12 catches a game, and he missed 6 games at the start of the year. I think the Cardinals would probably have much better record if Hopkins was in this whole entire season so far.
I think that goes without saying, because the guy just kind of waltzes in, and we're getting close to the middle of the season, being like, okay, I know I haven't played a little bit. I'll still probably get 160 yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Kind of incredible. Kind of
Yeah.
incredible.
Okay, on the other side of the ledger there, the Vikings, they've went out to a 6-1 record. I don't think a lot of people are talking about them as being one of the elite teams quite yet. But yeah, when you look at the record, you look the weapons they have and who's engineering it. Yeah, I'm impressed. They're looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm impressed as well. I'm still hesitant on giving them that elite team status
Sure.
because for whatever reason, I feel that Cousins will let me down at some point. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm hoping he doesn't. I hope that he continues to have this stellar season. But Dalvin Cook, 20 carries, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. You know, like their top offensive weapons are having great seasons so far.
Yeah, Cousins, 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. Madison got a TD. You know, to have 3 touchdowns on the ground and 2 through the air. Yeah, that's a very balanced attack and yeah, a class of the division. Obviously, we talked about the Packers on that Sunday nighter, but yeah, to be 4 more losses in the loss column than the Vikings, I think you know, almost kissing goodbye this division title. They're going to have to fight it out for a wild card, try to pull this thing around. Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem to be a good teammate right now. He's throwing guys under the bus, constantly complaining about what he doesn't have and what they're doing wrong. And yeah, it seems like it's a mess there.
He got paid, though, Aaron. So isn't everything all good? That would be my thing. It's like, but you got paid, so whatever, man. Yeah, that's what you wanted the most because you know, like if you wanted to win games, maybe you would have taken a little bit less or helped out the team, but you didn't do that. You didn't do any of that. You got paid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I guess hard to complain when yeah, you took up all the money. They couldn't keep Devontae and none of the other guys. And yeah, I guess, you know, suffer with your 50 million a year, I guess.
Yeah, and he's suffering really, really badly. Like, oh my God, this is so hard. But yeah, it's unfortunate too that Aaron is like that. He's built that way where he feels the need to call his teammates out constantly, either like post game or on the podcast or whatever. I think there's certain things that you should just do always behind closed doors. And that's especially if you have like a young receiving core, which is what he has. So by you doing this constantly, week after week, are you reinforcing their confidence? No, it's actually quite the opposite.
Yeah.
You're having the opposite effect.
Yeah, it's pretty weird that he doesn't get that. There's a lot of things he doesn't get. He gets paid big time, but he doesn't get how to be a teammate and how to pump your team up and yeah, it's probably going to get uglier there than before it gets nicer. And look out, yeah, Packers fans aren't used to this. They face the Lions next week, so not going to be probably taking a loss there. But yeah, I think it's going to be a long season in Green Bay. Okay, looking ahead this week, Thursday game, Eagles play the Texans. 8-0, I think it's a guaranteed lock. 8-0, are you willing to put your reputation on that being a victory for the Eagles again?
Let me think about that for a second. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, I am putting everything on it.
I wish we had the guaranteed Charles Barkley balloons coming down and stuff. Guaranteed. Well, yeah, 1-5-1 Texans facing this 7-0. This could be the biggest spread we've seen in the NFL in quite a few years. I wonder what kind of point spread we're going to see for Thursday. Do you think it could be like 3 touchdowns?
I think at least 2. Yeah. I would say definitely at least 2. Yeah. 2 touchdowns for sure.
Yeah, it's I'm sure it's going to be yeah, it's going to be ugly. Probably not a game that you really have to be tuned in for a nail biter. But if you want to see an absolute juggernaut, AJ Brown might even get 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Well, yeah, 4 touchdowns or maybe 5 or 6. Like maybe Hurts just goes, let's just go for a record. Huh? You want to go for a record? Let's do it. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah. Okay. This will be fun.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, some of the other games I'm looking forward to. Seahawks and the Cardinals. We talked about them. There's the Titans and the Chiefs. That should be fun. Rams and the Bucks. Looking forward to that on Sunday. And the Monday Nighters has the Ravens and the Saints. Chargers and Falcons look pretty good. Bills and Jets is always good. That interdivisional matchup. Yeah, a lot of fun games to look forward to this coming Sunday.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great games. I'm actually quite curious to see the Bucks and the Rams, since they're both teams are struggling right now. Yeah. And then it looks like the Rams might be missing Cooper Kupp anyways for that particular game. So this could be Brady's chance. Get a win. This could be it.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be. That might be. We got to tune in. That's for sure. Okay, why don't we turn to the UFC? They had another card. UFC Fight Night 216, Vegas 63. Crazy. It's been crazy how many fights we've lost to injury during the fight and the last little while. We had in this year alone, we've had 3 main events fall off from the fighter getting injured. Ortega blew out his knee, same as Calvin Kattar did this weekend. And Tom Aspinall messed up his shoulder. And we saw TJ Dillashaw also blew out his shoulder. It's been tough. You're anticipating these amazing matchups. The matchmakers have got it right. We get some amazing contenders or some, guys fighting for the belt. And then, bam, Kattar tries to throw a flying knee, comes down awkwardly, blows out his knee, can't really get it stabilized. Allen throws a kick to pull out his good leg, and then as soon as he has to try to step on that bad leg, it gives out on him again, and fight's over. Nobody's happy when something like this happens.
No, it absolutely sucks, because you know that this fight could have been a classic if it was allowed to progress normally as it should. I just remember, though, when he did throw that flying knee, where I'm like, looks really awkward. Weird. Because it looked like he was even off balance when he threw it in the first place, right? And so when he landed, and I love it when like the broadcast team goes, "Oh, let's see that in slow motion." Right there, you see that, and I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of disgusting."
Yeah,
but
over and over,
and then
pointed out, yeah, no doubt, it's so brutal.
Look at that. So it's brutal. But when you saw that happen, I give all of these guys all the credit in the world for being as tough as they are. But at some point in time, okay, I'm the coaches, right? So you know that he's done. I'm sorry to say it. He's done.
Yeah.
Do you not just protect your fighter at that point in time and say, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm calling it. You know what I mean? Because like
in the towel,
he has no
there. Yeah, you can't put your fighter in harm's way like that and jeopardize his potential career and possibly his life, because if you blow out a knee even way worse than that, you might not ever walk straight again.
Yeah, like I look at that and I understand the significance of, like, you want to reinforce your guy like he's almost like he's indestructible, like he's Superman. Not Superman, and that's a real injury. That's a major injury.
Yeah.
I thought about this last night. How many times have we seen somebody with a catastrophic like knee or leg injury come back and win a fight? How many times has that actually happened? I don't think it's ever happened. No, I think it's actually zero.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Right. Yeah, it's tough. I know you want to give your fighter every opportunity. You want him to maybe pull out a victory, but when an injury is that bad, it's just time to stop it and move on. Nobody was happy with that main event finishing that way. But Arnold Allen is now on a 10-fight win streak. He said he's not sure what he wants next. He knows that Volkanovski is going to be fighting Islam Makhachev next. So he's like, okay, well, the belt's not there to fight the champ, but maybe an interim title. And I thought of three possibilities of guys that he might get an opportunity to fight. Josh Emmett, who's on a 5-fight win streak. Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega, who I mentioned earlier. As long as Ortega can fully recover himself from his knee injury. But I think I would probably pit him up against Emmett right now, and then have Yair maybe waiting in the wings. And then the other two guys that are in that mix are Holloway and Korean Zombie. But I think those guys should kind of face each other and maybe let Ortega heal a little longer. Emmett, Allen, I think makes the most sense.
That's actually a good call. Like, I think that does make a lot of sense. Those two going at it, because Allen can't fight anybody behind him at this point in time. That makes absolutely zero sense.
No.
And he'll probably take over Kattar's 5 spot, just
Right.
move up a spot, 6 to 5. And so it has to be somebody like above him that he has to fight. And I think, and it makes sense.
When you've won 10 in a row, you deserve to, really have one more fight, possibly for an interim title, even be the guy waiting in the wings for the winner of the championship fight. So, it's not too far to wait for the winner of the Volkanovski Makhachev, but different weight division. They will probably put an interim belt on the line, and it makes sense to me that Allen's in the mix.
Yeah, no, it makes sense to me too as well, because like I think in his division he has the longest winning streak right now. He has to.
Yeah. Okay, what about the co-main? Great fight between two really tough guys, Max Griffin and Tim Dirty Bird Means. Nice decision victory for Griffin. He's won 4 of his last 5. And fought a really tough game guy in Means, who's been a warrior and been in there, forever. Very impressive win.
Very impressive win. Means is just a tough dude to fight.
Yeah,
like he is an absolute load to fight. Like, because Griffin dropped him, possibly looking like he was going to end the fight quickly in the first. But at the same time, as I'm watching the fight, I go, no, that's probably not going to happen. Because that's Tim Means, and he will figure it out. And he did begin to figure it out. He began to counter him a lot better, began to try to take away his movement by always attacking the lead leg with his calf kicks and stuff. Like, Means is he's just a very intelligent, smart, tough fighter. And in that third round, which was the round that would decide who was going to win or not, that was still really close, man. That was still really close.
Sure. Of course it was. Yeah. Definitely really close. And one of my favorite fights of the year, actually. I really enjoyed this fight. And I would watch these guys do battle all the time. I love both of them, and it was fun. There was talk today about the possibility of Max Griffin fighting either Randy Brown or Chaos Williams. Those are the two names that have been bandied about. Both of them would be just amazing matchups.
Yeah, they're both amazing matchups, and neither of those guys are easy. No easy fights between those two guys. So, good luck, Griffin. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Okay, there was a UFC debut at heavyweight with Waldo Cortez Acosta fighting Jared Vanderaa. Both these guys came out of the Dana White Contender Series. These are 2 of 10 fighters that are in the heavyweight division that came off the Dana White Contender Series. And it looks like Waldo will go up a little bit. Vanderaa will go down a little bit, but I think they'll probably fight a few of these guys, both of them. Gelton Almeida, Lucas Brzeski, Martin Budai, Austin Lane, Dontel Mays, Rodrigo Nascimento, Josh Parisian, Mick Parkin, and yeah, these two guys that were in there. Fun battle. Waldo looks great for his first battle. I was impressed.
Yeah, his boxing was on point. That's his strong suit, was his boxing, and it definitely stood out. I was still impressed by Bandera, his their tactics on what they wanted to do to attack Costa, which was like leg kicks.
Leg kicks.
It was basically
brutal,
boxing versus leg kicks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely would have been hard to be a judge.
Yes.
I think Vandera did exactly his game plan, what he wanted to do.
Yep.
He should have landed probably a few more headshots and body shots, but he was just chopping that leg. Costa's got to get better at defending those leg kicks, because he won't have, his stats will be compromised big time, and other guys will knock him out if he doesn't figure that game out. But it would have been very tough to be a judge in this one.
Yeah, it would have been super tough, because at the end of the day, I actually kind of thought that Bandera should have been given more credit for the damage that he was inflicting upon Acosta's legs.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like the judges didn't give him any of that. Nothing.
I know.
I was a little bit surprised at.
Yeah, that was too bad for him. Yeah. I've also heard the possibility of Waldo fighting Chris Barnett next. Yeah, I love Chris Barnett and his dancing and his antics, and I think they seem like they would be probably pretty evenly matched.
No, I think I like that. I like that matchup. I'm gonna be honest though. I think Chris Barnett has an immense amount of talent. I just wish he would just take his diet and like his overall, like his physical fitness a lot more serious. Because I think if he did, that guy could be a world beater. Yeah. I honestly do. I believe that. I believe he could be a world beater if he did that.
That's true. Yeah, good call. Okay, Trayshawn Gore ends up getting a submission win over Josh Fremd. Fremd made a huge mistake. Fremd was actually winning this fight on the feet, decided to go for a takedown, left his neck exposed. When you try for that, you got to go inside, not outside with your neck. Gore just sunk in that guillotine and was not letting go on that. I was amazed that he was able to keep it and end up putting him to sleep and getting the submission win. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was very impressive. And the fact that he managed to, like, because Fremd did the right thing by trying to spin into it, but then by him spinning into it, Gore actually made it even tighter,
deeper,
which was ridiculous. Like, it's just like, oh, it got worse. It did not get any better.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Gore, I think he tried to take his head off his body. it kind of looked like that, where I'm like, oh man, that does not look good. Because I don't think Fremd even had a chance to tap because he was out.
It was too late. Too late. And he was definitely asleep. The referee didn't notice it in time, and he was out. He was napping early in the cage there. I was impressed by Trayshawn pulling that off, and even though Fremd turned into it, flipped off the cage and did whatever he could, no, it did not work.
No, nothing was going to work. Nothing was going to dislodge that guillotine choke from his neck.
Okay, the fight that kicked off the main card was Khalil Roundtree and Dustin Jacoby. A lot of people thought Jacoby won this. I did. I was quite surprised that it was it was given to Roundtree. I thought Jacoby did more and won this. Who did you at the end of the fight? Who did you think won?
I agree with you. I thought Jacoby won because I thought the way that he was approaching the fight was more intelligent than Roundtree. Roundtree, with every strike he was throwing, he was swinging for the fences, whereas Jacoby would take some steam off of his punches and pitter pat. Like what he was doing was kind of like what the Diaz would do. Bing, sure. Bing, bing, bing. But you don't know which punch or strike is going to actually have the power behind it. Yeah. And I thought that was a very effective way of fighting Roundtree. because now you're making him think all the time of which strike do I actually have to look out for, right? Yeah. I honestly thought Jacoby being the busier fighter, and then the fact that both guys were not backing up, and the fact that I thought Roundtree was actually exhausting himself more by throwing everything full power.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I had Jacoby winning that fight.
When Roundtree took the mic, he said that he does not want the UFC to give him another fight until he's in the video game. He said, I've been in the UFC 7 years and I'm not in the freaking video game. Are you kidding me? EA, get on it. UFC, get on it. If I'm not in the video game, do not book me for another fight.
You know what? When he said that, I was like, well, why are you not in the video game? Like honestly, I'm like, dude's been in there for 7 years. That should be good enough.
Yeah,
he should be in.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, we'll see.
Good call.
Yeah, we'll see if they jump on it. I guess. Yeah, I wonder why he was overlooked. I wonder how many fighters are on that sports roster. It'd be nice to look into.
Yeah, no, because what? How many years do you have to be in the UFC? 8? 7, just not good enough. I'm sorry, Khalil. It's got to be
8. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I would have never thought a guy would put his career on hold to get in the video game, but get on it, UFC. Come on, 7 years seems like good enough. Good enough.
Oh yeah, that's good enough. Or maybe he'll use that as contract negotiations. It's like, all right, well, now let's get back to that video game thing. First off, I have to average like 90 across the board. Out of 100, all my skill set, 90. All right? Right. Secondly, I want to be known, like I want to be the most popular guy in that UFC video game. Can you make that happen? That's part of the negotiations.
Yeah, negotiations. Why not? Sure, why not? Okay, there was talk about the possibility of these guys' next opponent today. I was reading quite a few things. The biggest suggestion I heard was Alonzo Menifield and Jimmy Crute, and the possibility of them fighting either one of those guys. Yeah, the intermix Crute with Jacoby or with Roundtree and Menifield being in there. Pretty cool. I was really impressed hearing both those names. I would love to see either matchup.
Either a matchup works for me. I think those are great matchups either way, whatever way that they want to shake it up.
Yeah. Man, I couldn't wait to talk about this featured prelim fight between Roman Dolidze and Phil Haas. Holy cow. Dolidze, man, this guy is violent. He was ruthless, and he had Phil Haas in a brutal knee bar that once he heard it pop and dislocate and tear apart, he lets go. The ref doesn't stop it. Haas tries to continue the fight, ends up getting KO'd really badly. This was nasty. This was crazy. Dolidze had, was it being a sportsman by, pulling off and letting him get out of it once he heard it pop. But were you shocked that Haas continued fighting after that?
I didn't know what the heck that guy was made of. I was like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, he's not gonna stop the fight himself. Like, what? Yeah. I honestly I couldn't believe it, because then I wanted to go back and I rewound it so I could see it again. And you see the man's knee just kind of go like, it's not going the right way. Right? It's not going the right way. And so once Dolidze let go of it, I'm gonna be honest, if I was Dolidze, I probably would too, because I'm like, well, this fight is over. Yeah. You got no more knee. Right. You just destroyed it. And then with the fact that Haas was actually even able to stand up, I was like, none of that is normal. How is he doing that? Right? Yeah. But you could see the writing on the wall. He was very, very compromised. And Dolidze is like, okay, I guess I'll just have to close the show. Bing, 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 up against the cage. And then it was over. Yeah. But again, if I'm Hawes' cornerman, I'm his coach.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it going, oh, hey, none of that is good. Throw in the towel, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because are you
Unless
trying to?
I don't know where they were in the cage relative to,
Yeah,
where the submission was taking
yeah.
place, but yeah, if they saw his knee blow out like we did, you got to just say that's it, fight's over. You
Oh yeah,
don't want him to take
oh
this
yeah,
kind of punishment where he's standing on one leg, the other leg's completely blown.
yeah. And on top of that, the ref is right there.
Yeah.
He's right there. Like usually, like if the submission is catastrophic, like that one was, the fight's over.
Yeah.
Yet
Yeah.
he was just like, oh, he fought out of it. No, he didn't fight out of it. The submission was completed and he destroyed his knee.
Yeah.
That's how it ended.
Yeah,
So,
Hawes should have not taken more punishment and shouldn't have lost in a KO fashion. It was tough to watch. Delete is a killer though, and man, I'm looking forward to him fighting again. I saw a bunch of possibilities of Delite's next opponent. I heard Gerald Mearshart as the number one. The winner between Darren Till and Duplessis. If it happens, I saw Darren Till has a really bad eye injury that he suffered in training camp, and that fight might get postponed or canceled. And then there's a fight scheduled between Joaquin Buckley and Chris Curtis, and Delitze could get the winner of that one too. So a lot of killers ahead for Delitze, but very, very, very impressive performance by him, and this guy's just getting better and looking incredibly skilled in every way.
oh, in every way, and especially like I was very impressed with the way that he changed together his submissions, and then all of a sudden it turned into that knee bar attempt, which was successful, and it was pretty gross once he finished it off. I was just like, wow. But again, I give all these guys all the credit in the world. They are super tough, probably too tough for their own good. Because I'm sorry, but Hawes should have been like, or somebody that was in Hawes' corner should have been like, okay, this is over. It's done.
Yeah, they should have called it right then and there. We saw the legendary longtime guy in Andre Arlovsky in there, up in the top echelon of most performances, most wins, most finishes, most everything. But he takes a submission loss to Marcus Rogerio de Lima, and every time he takes a loss, you think, okay, this is it. But he wants to fight forever and ever and ever. It's amazing. He came in on I think a 4-fight win streak, and but he took a loss here. What did you think about this one?
I think he just kind of got mauled by a bear. That's kind of what happened. Like that, I was shocked at the size difference between the two men, because Arlovsky is a big dude, but Rogerio is that much thicker than Arlovsky.
Sure.
Like once he started really throwing those hooks, you're just like, oh man, that's dangerous. That's a lot of power coming at you there.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, you're right. There was a big size difference there, especially thickness. And, holy cow, yeah. I think he outweighed him by about 20, but just looked massively thick.
Massive.
Yeah. I think we have to cut this short. I do want to mention that Chase Hooper looked terrible. Steve Garcia just came in there and just beat this kid really badly. I thought Hooper was starting to, move up in skill level and starting to look, like, getting into his body and starting to look pretty good. But this was a complete mismatch. Everybody had Hooper winning this. Garcia just beat him up bad.
Yeah. I had Hooper winning this, and I couldn't have been more wrong. 3 knockdowns in the round, and he got mauled.
Yeah,
he got mauled.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even close. So, anything else you want to mention from the card?
No, I am good.
Okay.
I am good.
Okay. Quickly, let's mention next Sunday.
Okay.
another UFC Vegas card. We actually have a card that was supposed to be this weekend, or have a fight that was supposed to be this weekend, has moved up to the main event. Marina Rodriguez and Amanda Lemos was supposed to be this Saturday, but Bryce Mitchell and Movsar Evloev was supposed to be the main event here. That fight got canceled, so they moved Rodriguez and Lemos onto this one. I'm not super excited about it. Are you looking forward to this fight in a certain way?
Anyway, so the co-main event, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. It is number 3 against number 7 in a strawweight battle, but this shouldn't have been the main event. I don't know why they didn't just move the co-main up to be the main and put Rodriguez Lemos somewhere in the mix here. But yeah, I think Magny and D-Rod should be a hell of a battle, and I think fight of the night.
Yeah. I am super looking forward to that because Rodriguez has been on a tear as of late,
Yeah.
and Neil Magny's Neil Magny. So I think this is going to be that'll be probably the best fight out of the whole card.
Yeah. Heavyweight battle, Chase Sherman, Jack Parisian. That'll be great to watch. Mark Madsen, still undefeated, coming in against Grant Dawson. He was actually also supposed to fight this past Sunday. The fight against Drakkar Close was canceled, so he's been moved up, and he fights Dawson. Love this guy, and really looking forward to watching him. I mentioned Jalton Almeida, heavyweight guy that came from the Dana White Contender Series. He's in a catchweight fight for some reason against Maxim Grisham, and yeah, that should be a good battle. Those two guys are big up and comers. And anything jump out at you on the prelim card?
Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Derrick Minner fight again. On the main prelim fight right there.
Yeah, the feature fight there. Yeah,
feature fight there against Shah Yailan. Yailan. Let's go with Yailan. So okay. Yeah, I like Minner. I've always liked him. I like the way that he fights. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again.
And we're just over a week away from, I guess, almost 2 weeks away from the UFC 281. Adesanya, Alex Pereira. Pereira beating Adesanya twice in kickboxing. KO'd Adesanya about 5 years ago, I think it is. And people are giving him a chance. Amazing kickboxing career for Pereira. One of the only guys that's ever dominated Adesanya back in their kickboxing days. They also have a title fight against Carla Esparza and Weili Zhang. Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. Looks like Frankie Edgar's final fight in the UFC against Chris Gutierrez. Dan Hooker's on the card. Really stacked 281.
Oh, yeah. No, it looks fantastic. And I'm just going to say this for the co-main. I think those ladies are going to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's actually going to be a fight this time around.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Carla looked pretty bad last time against Rose, and I wasn't super excited about this, but Zhang always seems to bring it. And yeah, if Carla doesn't, she's going to lose. So she needs it.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely needs it. She definitely needs it.
Yeah, the prelims have got some great talent on it as well. Dominic Reyes, Ryan Spann, Brad Riddell, Renato Moicano.
Oh, yeah, that
Petrosky.
Moicano Riddell fight is going to be nice.
Yeah,
nice.
There's quite a few early prelims fights. It's going to be great. Amazing card. Looking forward to it. Yeah, we're less than 2 weeks away from that, but yeah. UFC Fight Night 217, Vegas 64 next Saturday. And yeah, sticking with combat sports, did you see any of the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight Saturday night?
No, but I did see the highlights.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw this Instagram post of the supposed knockdown of Jake Paul on Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
You know what I saw? I saw WWE. I
Oh,
saw
yeah?
a phantom punch.
You
Looked
think?
like it connected. It did not. And then he fell down.
Huh.
I watched it numerous times
Really?
to see if it was actually, if I'm seeing it right or if I'm not seeing it right. I
No.
don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I think the video that you saw was actually doctored
Doctors? Was it
because, yeah,
doctors?
no, I think
Okay.
it was a legitimate punch. I don't
Okay.
think anybody has a leg to stand on that says it was rigged. No, I think it was a legitimate shot. I haven't been a huge fan of the Pauls and all the things they've been doing, but I think this talk about being fixed and rigged has no part in this fight. I think it was legitimate. Anderson Silva's 47 years old. Looked his age at times in this fight. Got knocked down. He was losing the fight. I believe 5 rounds to 2 before that 8th round.
Okay.
He just didn't look like he was throwing enough, landing enough, and just looked his age.
He's 47. Like, let's be honest here. He's 3 years away from 50.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody should be in the professional boxing ring at this point in time. If you're that old, like I don't know if anybody should have any right to be there.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Jake Paul, excellent at choosing who he needs to fight.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next 49-year-old that he gets in that boxing ring and beats up. Good for you.
Right. Yeah, 25 years old against 47. My money's going to usually be on the 25-year-old. It's kind of sad. One of the greatest in MMA history. He looked pretty good in some of his boxing already before this fight, but not a true representative of MMA. And Jake Paul just keeps getting all these washed up MMA guys come in, beat him up, and keep his undefeated record, keeps getting money. But I had to watch it, but it's just too bad that if he wanted to box, he didn't do it at a younger age.
Yeah. It would have been great to see prime Anderson Silva in a boxing match. Like, when I say prime, I mean back when he was in Pride.
Yeah.
See that guy in a boxing ring? Yeah. Oh, that would have been something else. And by the way, Jake Paul ain't beating that guy.
No.
Jake Paul is not beating that guy. Jake Paul getting knocked out by that
guy. That's true. This fight shouldn't have actually even taken place. Anderson Silva admitted that he got knocked out in training camp twice in one day, just days before this fight actually took place. And a commission's not supposed to allow a guy that has taken 2 concussions, 2 knockouts into a fight. That's one of the problems, that they're sanctioning fights like this. And this really could have been catastrophic if he landed even a more solid punch and KO'd him big time. That's 3 KOs in a week. Our brain's not supposed to take that kind of punishment.
No, it's definitely not supposed to take that kind of punishment at an advanced age as well, right? So I just hope that I hope that he got compensated well from this fight. I hope I don't know how much money he made, but I hope he got paid well.
Yeah, I saw the figures. So guaranteed, he got 500,000 guaranteed, and 35% of the pay-per-view buys. Jake Paul got 1.5 million and 65% of the pay-per-view buys. So so they think Jake Paul probably made about $10 million, and Anderson maybe made around $3 or $4 million. So
good enough. Hey, you put your health and your welfare on the line. I'm glad he made some money out of it, but Anderson should definitely think about maybe hanging it up at some point in time here. You're 47, man. Nothing left to prove.
There were a lot of no names on the card, 4 KOs on the undercard. You will know 2 fighters on the card for sure, though, that were on the undercard. Uriah Hall fought Le'Veon Bell. Uriah got a unanimous decision, and this was both of their boxing debuts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm amazed that Le'Veon Bell has went from such a great running back in Pittsburgh, decided to hold out for a contract, went through about 3 or 4 teams, out of the league now, and now he's boxing on undercard of Jake Paul. Pretty mighty fall for his life.
No, yeah, for sure. Wait. You just said Uriah Hall, right?
No, Uriah Hall. Yeah.
Is he still not under contract with the UFC? Or did they release him?
He's gone. No, he got released. Yeah.
No, they got okay. Because I was just like, well, you can't actually do that if he's still under contract with the UFC. I don't know how he did that. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. And yeah, it sucks with Le'Veon Bell because again, this is a guy that bet on himself, but sometimes betting on yourself doesn't work.
Actually, might not work. Yeah,
it can go the other way as well.
Sure can.
Good or bad.
Jake Paul called out Nate Diaz, who's still under contract at the UFC for a while, so that can't happen. Also called out Canelo Alvarez.
Never gonna happen.
He would get annihilated by Canelo within about 30 seconds, if that. And just clickbait kind of call outs. The other thing that I was quite surprised at was that GSP was one of the hosts of the event and had a lot to say. It was right in there with a lot of commentary. I guess Jake Paul and Anderson Silva had a bet on this fight, and Paul said that if I win, you have to help me with the fighters union that I want to start for combat fighters. And so Anderson Silva has pledged that he will now help Jake Paul put together a fighters union. They're talking to lawyers, they're drawing up agreements, and they're going to start putting them in the hands of these fighters. Jake Paul has been a big proponent of trying to get these fighters proper medical health insurance, proper compensation, and a lot of aspects that the UFC has been really hesitant to provide. And GSP said he's also going to help with this campaign and see if they can make this happen finally.
It's interesting every time he brings up like the medical insurance part, because I know that the UFC fighters are covered, but now when he keeps bringing that up, I begin to question to what extent now.
Yeah.
Because if the way that I perceive it should be is, well, it's everything. You're fighting with everything, so it should be everything.
Yeah.
Like literally. Like it should be everything. Everything should be covered, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often in the US. So it's not an easy thing to put together. GSP and Cain Velasquez actually made an attempt at a union back in 2016, unsuccessfully. Not really sure why. Hopefully, we'll find out some details as the years go by and see why that wasn't successful. But hopefully, this is successful for a lot of these fighters that deserve this. They're putting their lives on the line, and for our entertainment, we should be making sure that they're going to have lives to go back to once this is done for them.
Yeah, of course, and yes, Dana White does good things for some fighters every once in a while, but that's him just picking and choosing.
Yeah,
he's not looking out for the welfare of everyone, and that's what a fighters union would do. Would look out for the welfare of everybody. Yeah. I think it's long overdue. I think the UFC and organizations like the UFC have taken advantage of the fact that they're not unified. I think now if they can actually make this happen, all the fighters will be better off. Period.
Yeah.
Every single one.
And that to me should be Jake Paul's legacy, and a lot of these kind of farce fights, boxing between old washed up MMA guys. Hopefully he takes on some real boxers. There's talk about him fighting Tommy Fury, possibility of fighting Rockman. Maybe those will happen. But I think I think he's a little worried about that because he's actually probably going to lose. So, you just keep keep this train rolling for him. Keep him in the spotlight, keep him generating more money for a few more years. And but he is biting off a little bit better talent every time. But 47. I don't think Anderson Silva should have been in there.
No, he shouldn't have been in there. But here's something. I just thought of it right now. I think he's in his 50s. Iron Mike.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah.
Crazy. Sorry.
that would be hilarious. Yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna do that. Don't.
No. He actually has some sort of smarts. He's like, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay. Let's just finish off with the world of NBA. We're just started the third week of the NBA. Great couple weeks. Lots of good teams are emerging. Some bad teams are de-emerging. I don't even know what the term is, but Brooklyn Nets are looking horrible. The Lakers are looking really bad. Lakers finally got their first victory of the season last night, but oh my God. I just watched the Bucks when I got home from work tonight. Just edged out the Pistons, but undefeated still, 6-0. Cavs looking great at 5-1. But do you want to start with the good or the bad?
Oh, you know what? Let's start with the good. And I want to start with, when I say the good, I want to start with the Cavs. It's like I love what they're doing. I love what the team looks like. I love the fact that Donovan Mitchell just looks like he's like a perfect piece to that puzzle that Cleveland was missing. Like he's the perfect piece. It's amazing.
Brilliant move on their part to get him. Brilliant move. Yeah, that was the best acquisition of the offseason.
Oh, by far and away. So with the Cavs and the Knicks, Cavs win 121-108. I gotta say this. All right. So Mitchell, 38 points, 12 assists, 8 from 13 from 3.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Kevin Love, 29 points, 8 rebounds, 8 for 13 from 3 as well in the same game. All right. And then another guy, Dean Wade, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 6 for 8 from 3.
Unreal.
They were scorching from 3-pointer in that game.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, well, if you can dominate outside and inside like that, holy cow, that's a phenomenal team. They've got such an incredible presence under the hoop, and then if they're hitting threes at that kind of clip, holy cow, who's going to be able to beat them?
Nobody. Oh yeah, and by the way, they're still missing like their actual 2-point guard, Darius Garland. Not there yet.
Yeah,
and they're 5-1.
Yeah,
not bad.
What a great start to the year. Amazing. Yeah. I wanted to talk about the Bucks. Giannis got Player of the Week in the East. 36, averaging 36 points a game, 15 rebounds and 6 assists. Another amazing start to the year and looking all world. MVP like numbers. On the Western Conference side of things, Player of the Week was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder came out of the start of the season 0-3. This week, he brought him to a 3-0 record to even the record at 500. He averaged 32 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and looked phenomenal doing that. Nice to see the Canadian in there doing great things. I did also want to talk about the Raptors. They had a huge victory tonight, beat the Hawks very handily. Huge win against the Hawks tonight. And what was the final? 139-109. Huge explosion. They actually caused Trae Young to have 10 turnovers, career high. And he looked lost big time. Pascal Siakam is on a tear, has had 30 and 10 games throughout the whole entire year, 6 straight to start the year. Tonight he had 31 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and there was 6 guys in double figure scoring. and 139 to hang that tonight. Really super impressive performance.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Raptors are looking great. They're looking fantastic, and Siakam is really coming into his own this season.
Yeah. Um, I did want to mention that there was a um, this story came out today. The NBA has completed an investigation into tampering. They found enough evidence against the 76ers that they are stripping them of their second round picks in next year and the following year's drafts. They found that in their pursuit of PJ Tucker and Danuel House, that they started talking to them days before the June 30th, 6 p.m. start of the free agency talk. Tucker signed a $30 million 3-year contract, and House signed $8.4 million over 2 years. Tucker was the full mid-level exception, and House was the biannual exception because James Harden had declined his option and agreed to come in a little bit less so they could sign these guys. But they announced that like 601, maybe even before 601, they announced these signings, and the NBA decided to check into it and found that they had done some tampering, and this came down today. Yeah, I don't know how much it harms them because Tucker was a huge acquisition, obviously, but yeah, surprising that they did their investigation and found there was some wrongdoing there.
Well, yes, and also too, I think the powers that be for the 76ers organization, I think they were willing to gamble. I think they were just like, cost of doing business, boys. We might lose some picks if we do it this way, but we need these players, so we're gonna do it this way.
Yeah, yeah. Brooklyn Nets sitting 12th in the Eastern Conference, 2-5 start, and Kyrie Irving's in the news again. There's a hell of a story in the Daily News out of New York by Mike Lupica, one of the best writers in the game. This is his title of the story: Kyrie Irving turning the Nets into the clowns of the NBA. Kyrie is taking a huge amount of flack for some of his posts online over this past weekend. It sounds like he has really pissed off a massive amount of people. He has talked about his stance and his theories on life. He has decided to talk a lot about a guy who is very anti-Semitic, and he has pointed out this movie that has really always garnered a huge amount of terrible press, and it's put him into a lot of hot water and put the Nets organization looking really bad, and this could end really badly for Kyrie and the organization.
I think I saw something like this from the Instagram post from Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, saying, I don't believe Kyrie understands the severity of what he's just done, pretty much, which is just like he's backing an anti-Semitic, like what was it, film guy, whatever movie. He's backing that, and that will not stand. Pretty much, that's what Joe Tsai said, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, of course Kyrie's doing this because this is what he does. This is what he does. This is what he does. Like he creates controversy out of like where you think everything's fine, like you think you're in smooth waters, then all of a sudden, wow, it got rough. All of a sudden, what just happened? What happened here? Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, it's bizarre. He's the most bizarre NBA player that's ever existed. I don't get him. I don't understand it. He never seems to want calm waters. He just seems to want to rock the boat. Seems to want to throw the most ridiculous, just the most ridiculous things out there. And it's just season after season after season. And And this could be one of the final straws for the Nets and maybe the league. This guy might have just burned his last bridge.
Yeah, yeah, and also too, it doesn't help his case that he's back in an anti-Semitic film. All right, and I believe the commissioner Adam Silver, Jewish. Yeah, not a good look, buddy. No. Not a good look at all.
No, pretty brutal. Yeah, shocking, but I guess when you think of the guy, it's just par for the course. It's every year we're hearing more and more and more of this, but yeah, moving on to bigger and better things. Impressed with the Blazers' start to the season. They sit atop the Western Conference, tied with the Suns at 5-1 record. And then sitting in the third and fourth position, two teams that nobody suspected were going to be there, the Jazz and the Spurs, both of them selling off their top players, and both of them having a great start to the year. Jazz 6-2 and the Spurs 5-2. Amazing performances so far by them.
Yeah, it is, because you're just like, oh, how are you doing this? You sold off all your best assets, or possibly all your best assets, but the Spurs still have this guy, this stud of a guard, Kelvin Johnson. That guy is probably going to be their next superstar, for sure.
No, he's awesome, isn't he? Yeah.
Very,
very amazing. The Lakers, they're embarrassing. Like, they won, but oh my God, this team is really, really bad, and LeBron keeps setting records and will become the all-time scoring leader in the NBA. But this is horrible. They've been outscored 146-110 in the first quarter. Anthony Davis has been hurt again. Westbrook's coming off the bench. They can't shoot from the outside. They pulled off a win last night, but 1-5 start to the year, and this is going to be a terrible, ugly year unless they make some big trades.
LeBron already said it. He's already actually come out and said it. It's like, our roster's not constructed great. You got no shooting. I'm going to be fine though. That's it. Wow. And he's, you know what? He's absolutely right. He is going to be fine. The team is going to be garbage, and that's it. That's where they're at.
That's crazy, eh? That's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing that he knows it. Everybody knows it, but yeah, this is weird. You wouldn't think they would go into the season looking this poor and having it fall apart like this already. You don't have him much longer. He's not going to be around much longer. You don't want to waste another season. But Golden State Warriors, a bit of a tough start to the season, 3-4 defending champs. But today they announced that they've picked up the options for James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody. Today's was the deadline to get all the options in place. Wiseman's options $12.1 million. Kuminga and Moody's are $6 million and $3.9 million respectively. Now the trio's under contract for the Warriors for the next 2 seasons, and Wiseman will be extension eligible next summer to get a longer term deal. And they're starting to put all their pieces in place, the Warriors. And amazingly enough, Steph Curry is scoring at a clip better than the start of any season in his NBA career so far this year. So I think they're good. I think they're going to be good.
I think they're going to be fine. Yeah. They're 3-4 right now, but I don't think that really matters. I'm going to be honest. I really don't. I think the Warriors are going to be fine. They have this unique blend of old guard and new nucleus coming together. Yeah. And I think they're going to transition beautifully, and especially now that you see that Jordan Poole is coming into his own. Yesterday, last game where they unfortunately lost against the Pistons, but Poole had 30 points. I think at one point in time, he had 9 points in like 2 minutes.
Wow.
In that game. Awesome. So they're going to be fun.
They're going to be good. Yeah. And supposedly 2 weeks into the season, the offenses in the NBA are performing at rates never seen before in the history of basketball so early in the schedule. There was some rule changes that have the possibility of moving this up, but we're seeing guys hitting from three at unprecedented clips, hitting mid-range jumpers even that are falling, incredible amounts of tip-in rebounds and a lot of offensive glass work. And I think this is going to be the season where we see the highest scores in the history of the league. It's going to be pretty awesome to watch if you're into very high octane offensive basketball.
Oh yeah, well, just like what I said with the Cavs game yesterday, where you got guys going for two guys going 8 for 13 from three.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of scoring this year, a lot.
It's going to be super fun. Yeah, I'm excited. Game 3 of the World Series was supposed to happen tonight. It got rained out, so they pushed it another day at least. And we'll be watching that. F1 happened this weekend. Max Verstappen set the F1 record for most wins ever in a season. He got his 14th victory of the year in Mexico City. It broke the record held by Sebastian Vettel and Michael Schumacher. And there's still 2 races to go on the season. I tuned in and watched your cousin with his F1 coverage, and it was amazing as always. And Verstappen's setting some amazing records and unprecedented stuff. Lewis Hamilton was in the mix as well. And but this has been a crazy season and really good for Red Bull, and super fun to watch your cousin. Man, you guys are both such experts in sports that you love, and it's just awesome to watch both of you do what you do.
Yeah, well, my cousin's amazing. He's very good at what he does, especially talking about his passion, which is F1 racing, which I know nothing about, absolutely nothing. But I find it just awesome the fact that we're both doing this.
Yeah,
and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, that's great. All right, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for doing this. This was really great as always. Can't wait to post it, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Like as slow and casual as today was, will be. Let's pray for it, and I hope it's awesome. Keep in touch, and there'll be lots of sports to break down next week for sure.
Definitely, there's going to be a ton of stuff to break down. Looking forward to it. You enjoy your week as well, my friend. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. Happy Halloween. Cheers.
Happy Halloween. Bye.
Okay. Wow. Halloween. We've reached the end of October into November. Crazy. Around here, we're going to start seeing some tough weather. In Australia, where a lot of my family are, they're going to start seeing some great weather. So lucky on them. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. As always, love you guys lots. Take care of yourself. Have an awesome week ahead. And appreciate the support. Speaking of support, I want to thank our partners and sponsors. Anchor.fm, the easiest place to make a podcast. Phenomenal at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us. Go there, do what Jason and I just did. It's a lot of fun. You'll love it. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company, industry leader in technology, performance, and value. V350 stick is a must-have for you. Pampas and Possibilities, get them to come into your home and spruce it up, make it look awesome with West Coast vibes and pretty things that really make you feel great. And of course, Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. You can purchase products on our website, CompleteSportsMedia.com. And go to Complete Media Network for tons of great content. So take care. Have a great week ahead. Love you lots. Bye for now.